On this Chevy Cruze. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Tonight, breaking news, Donald Trump Jr. and his private messages with WikiLeaks for months. What ABC News has learned tonight, The Atlantic first reporting the detailed exchanges between the president's son and WikiLeaks before the election and their advice for candidate Trump.
I love WikiLeaks.
And the message Don Jr. received, even WikiLeaks thought Hillary Clinton would win. Also breaking, a new accuser, breaking into tears today, describing what she says Senate candidate Roy Moore did to her when she was 16. And tonight, even before this newest accuser, the top Republican in the Senate said, "I believe the women." New charges in the alleged hazing death at Penn State. Authorities say surveillance was destroyed. The FBI has now recovered it and what it shows. New images coming in tonight, the deadly earthquake, more than 400 killed. The scare at the airport here at home, the smoke coming from a bag even before the passenger boards the plane. And the major new health alert tonight involving hypertension, what men and women need to know.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to start another week with you. And we begin tonight with Donald Trump Jr. and his secret correspondence, his messages for months with WikiLeaks before the election. The Atlantic breaking the story tonight, ABC News confirming the communications began during the campaign and continued well after his father was in the White House. Tonight, Don Jr.'s messages, what they reveal about WikiLeaks and their advice for the Trump campaign. And tonight, just in, Donald Trump Jr.'s response. We begin here with ABC's Mary Bruce.
Tonight, the shocking private messages between Donald Trump Jr. and WikiLeaks. ABC News learning that starting at the height of the campaign, Donald Trump's son and WikiLeaks were secretly corresponding. As first reported in The Atlantic, the exchanges with WikiLeaks went on for at least 10 months, starting in September of 2016, just 2 months before the election. The president's son communicating with WikiLeaks, a group the intelligence community believes was used by Russia to spread information about Hillary Clinton and influence the election. Even President Trump's own CIA director has said this.
It's time to call out WikiLeaks for what it really is. A non-state hostile intelligence service often abetted by state actors like Russia.
WikiLeaks had already leaked stolen documents and emails from the DNC when Don Jr. started receiving direct messages from the group on Twitter. All the while, his father proclaiming this.
WikiLeaks, I love WikiLeaks.
2 days after that rally, according to The Atlantic, WikiLeaks wrote, "Hey Donald, great to see you and your dad talking about our publications." Adding, strongly suggest your dad tweets this link if he mentions us, sending a link to their leaked documents. Don Jr. did not respond, but 15 minutes after it was sent, Donald Trump himself tweeted very little pickup by the dishonest media of incredible information provided by WikiLeaks. So dishonest, rigged system. And 2 days later, his son tweeted out that link that WikiLeaks had sent. Sources close to Don Jr. believe that after WikiLeaks first reached out, Don Jr. informed campaign leaders, including Steve Bannon, Kellyanne Conway, and Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. For months, Trump Jr. and WikiLeaks kept talking, and though Don Jr. did not engage with all of WikiLeaks' requests, he didn't rebuff them either. WikiLeaks even wrote to Don Jr. on Election Day. Even they seemed to think Hillary Clinton was going to win. Writing, "Hi Don, if your father loses, we think it is much more interesting if he does not concede and spends time challenging the media." But by the end of the night, Trump had won. WikiLeaks' response? Wow.
So let's get to Mary Bruce with us live tonight from Washington. And Mary, as we heard there, Donald Trump Jr. didn't respond to all of WikiLeaks' messages, but The Atlantic is reporting tonight he did respond to some of them. What are you learning on that front? And we're also hearing from Don Jr.'s lawyer tonight.
David, well, first, it does appear at times that this was a two-way conversation. Don Jr. reportedly just weeks before the election asked WikiLeaks what they planned to leak next. And tonight, Don Jr.'s lawyer says they've turned over all of these correspondence to congressional investigators and, quote, have no concerns about these documents. David.
Mary Bruce leading us off tonight. Mary, thank you. We turn next to the developing new headline involving Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore tonight. A fifth woman now stepping forward to accuse him of sexual assault when she was 16. Moore tonight vowing to stay in the race. And this evening, the message she says was written by Roy Moore in her high school yearbook. ABC's chief national correspondent Tom Yamas on Capitol Hill.
Tonight, Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore refusing to drop out, even as a new woman comes forward accusing him of sexually assaulting her when she was just 16.
My name is Beverly Young Nelson.
Nelson says she met Moore when he was an assistant district attorney and she was a high school student, working part-time as a waitress.
He sat at the counter in the same seat night after night.
She says Moore would flirt with her. One December, she brought her yearbook in and he asked to sign it. The inscription, she says, right here: "To a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I could not say Merry Christmas." And signed, "Love, Roy Moore, DA." 2 weeks later, on a cold night, Nelson says Moore offered to give her a ride home after work.
I trusted Mr. Moore because he was the district attorney.
But instead, Nelson says Moore drove her around back.
The area was dark and it was deserted. I was alarmed and I immediately asked him what he was doing. Instead of answering my questions, Mr. Moore reached over and began groping me and putting his hands on my breast. I tried to open my car door to leave, but he reached over and he locked it so I could not get out. I tried fighting him off while yelling at him to stop. But instead of stopping, he began squeezing my neck, attempting to force my head onto his crotch.
She says he tried to pull her shirt off.
I thought that he was going to rape me. I was twisting and I was struggling and I was begging him to stop.
Finally, she says, Moore gave up.
And he then looked at me and he told me, he said, "You're just a child." And he said, "I am the district attorney of Etowah County. And if you tell anyone about this, no one will ever believe you."
Only then, she says, did he let her out of the car and raced away. Nelson's allegations come in the wake of a bombshell Washington Post report, which included an interview with a woman who says Moore molested her when she was only 14.
To think that grown women would wait 40 years to come right before an election to bring charges is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah! But the Post also spoke to 3 other women who say Moore either dated or asked them out when they were teenagers, something Moore doesn't explicitly deny.
Do you remember dating girls that young at that time?
Not generally, no. If I did, I'm not going to dispute anything, but I don't remember anything like that.
The pressure on Senate Republicans overwhelming. Hours before Nelson told her story, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell calling on Moore to drop out.
I believe the women, yes. I think he should step aside.
Tonight, another senator echoing that call. Senator Graham, if Roy Moore's watching this tonight, what would you tell him?
For the good of yourself, your family, and your state, step aside.
All right, so let's get to Tom Llamas live on Capitol Hill tonight. And Tom, how is Roy Moore now responding to these new accusations today?
David, the campaign has just sent me a statement. They wrote, Judge Moore is an innocent man and has never had any sexual misconduct with anyone. But Roy Moore himself took to Twitter today to attack those senators, calling for him to drop out. Moore tweeting tonight, the person who should step aside is Senator Mitch McConnell. He has failed conservatives. Hashtag drain the swamp. David?
Tom Llamas on the Hill for us. Tom, thank you. We do move on here and to a major development in the death of a Penn State fraternity pledge. Tonight, there are new charges against 17 fraternity brothers after investigators recovered deleted security video. The FBI now recovering that video, and they say it shows Tim Piazza was given 18 drinks in less than 90 minutes before falling down those stairs. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
Tonight, new charges in the alleged hazing death of 19-year-old Tim Piazza. 12 more former Penn State fraternity brothers are facing charges, along with new charges for 5 brothers already awaiting trial.
We have new evidence.
That evidence, a frat house surveillance video that prosecutors say shows fraternity brothers giving Tim Piazza at least 18 drinks in just an hour and 22 minutes in the basement.
They claimed, we don't know what else happened other than what was seen in the upstairs video. And we don't know what happened in the basement. Guess what, guys? Now we know.
Prosecutors say they were led to believe that video camera wasn't working. Instead, they now claim one student intentionally deleted it. The FBI recovering the missing video. That student is now facing a tampering with evidence charge.
Missing from the evidence in this case was what really happened downstairs in that dark basement that night. This video is the missing link.
The court had already seen other videos showing Piazza stumble through the house, at one point falling down a flight of stairs. It would be 12 hours before the brothers call for help. Today's charges range from furnishing alcohol to minors to involuntary manslaughter. The parents of Tim Piazza want families around the country to hear their story.
Talk to your children. Tell them not to get involved in this nonsense.
So let's get to Gio tonight. And Gio, we're now talking about more than 24 students allegedly involved here.
That's right, David. We now have 26 former frat brothers facing charges. Defense attorneys insist those students are innocent. David.
Gio Benitez again tonight. Overseas this evening, there are new images coming in after a powerful earthquake, 7.3 along the border of Iran and Iraq, sending people running for their lives. More than 400 people killed, and here's ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell tonight.
Tonight, a deadly earthquake and the desperate search for survivors. The quake struck near the Iran-Iraq border, sparking terror and panic. People desperately fleeing a shopping mall. A local TV station was live when the terrified guest says, "There's an earthquake here, I have to go outside." And watch this as the quake hits a dam. Giant boulders rain down. More than 400 killed and over 7,000 injured, the deadliest quake in the world this year. People now desperate for aid, tens of thousands homeless without power or water. We got through to an aid worker in Iran. He told me people are scared and cold, but so afraid of more quakes, they're sleeping outdoors.
And that Iranian aid worker, Hamza, telling me that temperatures tonight below freezing, people desperate for tents, for blankets, and although some aid's getting through, it's nowhere near enough. David?
Ian Pannell tonight. Ian, thank you. Next year, President Trump nearing the end of his visit to Asia and overshadowing much of his trip over the weekend, what the president said about Vladimir Putin. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl traveling with the president.
President Trump says he's made real progress on trade and North Korea. But the final weekend of his trip to Asia was overshadowed by a familiar topic, Russia. It came after his brief conversations with Vladimir Putin in Vietnam. On Air Force One, Trump told reporters they briefly discussed Russia's election meddling. Every time he sees me, he says, "I didn't do that," the president said. "I really believe that when he tells me that, he means it. I think he's very insulted by it if you want to know the truth." The president even referred to the officials who led the top 3 intelligence agencies when he became president as, quote, political hacks. Hours later, the president was asked directly who he believes, the U.S. intelligence community, which says Putin ordered the election meddling, or Putin, who denies it.
I believe that he feels that he and Russia did not meddle in the election. As to whether I believe it or not, I'm with our agencies, especially as currently constituted with their leadership.
But former CIA Director John Brennan, one of the 3 who the president called a political hack, fired back.
Considering the source of the criticism, I consider that criticism a badge of honor. I think it demonstrates to Mr. Putin that Donald Trump can be played by foreign leaders who are going to appeal to his ego and to try to play upon his insecurities.
Former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper agrees.
He seems very susceptible to rolling out the red carpet.
Here in the Philippines, the president struck up an incredibly warm relationship with the controversial Filipino president, Rodrigo Duterte, somebody who has been condemned by human rights groups for an anti-war campaign where he actually encouraged private citizens to go out and to unilaterally kill drug dealers and drug addicts. The White House says that the president did raise human rights concerns in their conversations, but Duterte's office said the issue of human rights did not come up. David?
All right, John Karl traveling with the president. John, our thanks to you again. Back here at home tonight, the panic at the airport terminal in Orlando. A lithium battery exploding inside a bag before the passenger even boarded the plane. Here's ABC's David Curley tonight.
It was panic. Passengers fleeing an airport security line. A knapsack smoking. Some saying bomb. In Russia's TSA officer, Ricardo Perez, who thinks it may be an IED.
If there was an IED, I was already gone, so I might as well just try to save as many as I can. I'm not a hero.
Turns out it was a lithium-ion battery in a laptop which started burning. Lithium batteries are numerous, the FAA showing how cargo containers can explode. In the 3 years since that test, there have been nearly 70 incidents on aircraft. Tonight, the FAA recommending that the International Aviation Authority ban lithium batteries